Well guys, the A3 has just been delivered. Happy days. Sounded alright when he pulled it up, like. Oh, I've just set the alarm off, look. Get in. Alright guys, so it's Audi A3 diagnostic time. So I've run the diagnostic on the car. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of codes in there stored. So I cleared all the fault codes, started the car back up, drove it forwards and backwards, and then reread the fault codes. So the ones I've got now are current fault codes. So you can see there, that's basically the list. So I'll just go through them just to let you know what I'm looking at here. So auto transmission malfunction. Now when I go into the fault code for that, it's basically saying brake pressure switch, which is saying there's an electrical fault in the circuit. Well, it actually says check ABS brakes. So when you check that, that's what it says, brake pressure switch. Now, funny enough, what was wrong with the Golf? Brake pressure switch. However, on this occasion, the engine management light isn't on, and also the ABS light isn't on. So the other possible cause it can be is the brake switch, as we know from the Golf. So it's a good strong indicator there, because the ABS light isn't on, that it is down to the brake switch itself. So that'll be the first thing I check on that. If that's the case and it's just a replacement brake switch, happy days. Them two fault codes will go. By the way, I'll just mention now, there's no warning lights on the dash whatsoever. So all these are just codes that are stored. They are faults, but they're not triggering the engine management light or any other lights on the car, which is a good thing, which means it can go through MOT without me lifting a spanner. Auto HVAC, that is linked with auxiliary heat. This is down to the heater matrix, which is knackered, and it is because the carpet is wet and the coolant has got brown stuff in it, which means somebody's tried to fix it with adding some sealant mix, which is not great. So that'll need all flushing out, and I will actually have to replace the heater matrix inside the car, which is a mammoth task. So quite fortunately, we're still in lockdown 3. Level 3, or after lockdown we're going into level 3 or tier 3, which means nobody's going anywhere, and I certainly ain't, because I'm going to be spending hours replacing this. There'll be numerous videos on my stages of replacing that heater. I've basically got to strip the inside of the car out, hopefully not the whole dash. There is a German video on YouTube where it looks like he hasn't took the whole dash out, so. But in either case, it looks a pretty mammoth task, so that's a bit of a concern, but hopefully I'll get it sorted. The part itself now is about 40 quid. Okay, so that's that one. What else we got? Central electrics malfunction. Oh, what was that? Oh, to be honest, that's just a bulb on the rear license plate, number plate. It's talking in yank terms here. Instruments, don't know what that is. It's a ROM error, read and code error. Looking on the forums, they say don't worry about it. If everything's working on the dash, don't worry about it. So I'm not. Door electric driver side, 3 faults on this, windows, central locking, etc. The door has been off before because the panel's sort of loose and there's bits off it and whatnot, so somebody's tried to repair that, so I'll have to have a look at that. It could be, again, down to the wiring in the actual, the same as the Golf. Bearing in mind this has done 150,000 miles, so it wouldn't surprise me if the wiring is actually split, similar to the Golf, so we'll have a look at that. Park assist, there's a rear right sensor short of ground, so it's either a connection or it'll need a new sensor, which isn't much. And that's pretty much it, guys, so not too bad. Well, I say not too bad, considering there's a big list of stuff there. A lot of them will be rectified fairly easily. My main ones are, hopefully the brake switch is just the brake switch and not the brake pressure sensor, because that'll be, again, replace the ABS pump and brake bleed and everything else. But I'm confident it's not that, because, as I say, I haven't got the ABS light on. And this heater element, that's going to be a mammoth task. But needs doing, because the carpet's just getting wet inside. The car's just sort of misting up with condensation, and I need to get all that crap out, that coolant. Yeah, so good flush of that. New heater element in. Voila. Okay, that's it for now, guys. Dilly dilly. Right, on with the jobs. The window wouldn't wind down neither. As well as the problems with the electrical central locking, and it doesn't shut properly. So besides that, I thought I'd investigate the window first. And what it was jammed on this wheel, and it was snapped. There you can see all the rust. So it was never going to work. The only way to fettle them on electric windows, you just get a second-hand, whole new frame with all these, with all the cables already connected. It's just nigh on impossible to rethread them. I think you can buy a cable set, I don't know, but it's just not worth it. Yeah, I've tried it before many years ago, but you just buy a second-hand whole frame bit. The only problem is I don't know how to get the window out. It's on these guides here. There's obviously one on the other side as well, but you can't seem to get it off. I've undone the bolts at the bottom here for the window support there. It looks like this whole thing is separate to the door. So basically that whole part there detaches from the door. There's a bolt on the side there, one there, and one round the side. So I think that'll be the bolt for the wing mirror. So I think I'll take that off first, disconnect the wing mirror, undo these bolts here. I've took these ones out here as well, and I think that whole thing is going to lift off. We shall see. Dilly dilly. Postman arrived. So I got my parcel from America, which was, I didn't get all them bushes like some of what I bought previously, but I did get, as he drops it, new pins which fit spot on, apart from they're a little bit longer than the original, but it's fine. I can knock it back because I can't get it in any further than that, so I'm just going to cut a bit off the end so I can get that tapped in. It doesn't even matter if it's sitting proud, it's in tight. It takes some force to get it back out. So I've got my new bushes in the middle there. You'll just see the lip on the end there, and that's it. So great stuff. So what I'll do is put these back on and I'll realign them doors and see if that's made a difference, which I'm sure it will have, because as I say, there was a lot of movement in that with the pin being snapped. That's it. I think I mentioned before, I've knocked all the pins out of all these now, out of every hinge, and they're all nice and free. I've lubed them up, cleaned them off. Spot on, so everything's nice and free. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I did get, for all there's not much movement, they are pretty rusted when I cleaned them up. They'll probably do, but I have bought some new pins for these to see if they'll fit. If they do, they do. If they don't, you know, the old ones are sufficed. There's not loads of movement, they were just fairly pitted, but as I say, they're cleaned and greased up. We'll see. Right, dilly dilly. Well guys, that's it, back together. So I'll turn that up on full. Doesn't really matter about that, like, but that's on there. So now I'll press the recirculation button and we'll see the flap now opens. and the inside one as well. And off. Closes the back one first, then the front one. There we have it, one fully functioning. Flop! Dilly dilly!